Welcome, Vermonters, and thanks for joining me for another episode of JobTalk Vermont. I'm your host and Vermont's OneStop operator, Paul Ferraro, and it's great to be with you as we explore the opportunities that help Vermonters build skills, earn income, and stay connected to the communities we love. Today, we're turning our attention to one of the most iconic parts of life in our state, Vermont's state parks. Every year, hundreds of Vermonters step into seasonal roles that keep our parks welcoming, safe, and running smoothly. These jobs offer hands-on experience, teamwork, and a chance to spend your workday outdoors in some of the most beautiful places in the Northeast. This is JobTalk Vermont. Let's get to work. Vermont's OneStop system is a statewide network of career centers that offer free support with job listings, training programs, resume help, career counseling, and more. We connect you to resources and partner organizations and provide individualized support for Vermonters who are entering or re-entering the workforce, looking for training and apprenticeships, or need career guidance. We are a network of community organizations working together to support Vermonters with individualized services. Our partners include state agencies, community action organizations, local and national organizations. It's time to meet the employer. With us today is Reuben Allen, Chief of Park Operations with the Vermont Department of Forest, Parks, and Recreation. He'll share what it's like to work in the park system, the roles they're hiring for, and what makes seasonal park work such a meaningful experience. Reuben, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Paul.
Well, let's start by connecting our viewers to you. I would love for you to share a little bit about your career path, how you came to be in the position you're at today, and some of the experiences you've had along the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm actually from Idaho, where I grew up and went to college in Idaho, and I got my bachelor's degree in journalism. And shortly after college, I joined a community service organization traveling across the eastern United States and the Gulf Coast in community service and disaster relief. And I did that for 2 years, and I met my wife doing that, and we were looking for jobs after that was finished, and we found a posting to be park managers in Vermont. Neither one of us had been to Vermont. I'd spent my youth in the mountains of Idaho, but I'd never worked in a park. But Vermont State Parks at that time had a relationship with the Vermont Youth Conservation Corps, where the VYCC provided the staffing for about a dozen parks. And we knew that we had experience leading young people from the work we had just been doing. So we applied and we got that job, moved to Vermont, worked at Lake St. Catherine State Park for the season in 2003. Left for a little while, thought we got full-time year-round jobs, came back seasonally in 2005. And then in 2006, I got a full-time year-round position with the parks as a regional coordinator. That's a position that does like a lot of logistics, ordering and distribution of supplies, managing invoices, managing contracts. And then I was promoted into a regional operations manager position. That position really directly supervises and supports the seasonal staff. After about 10 years of those jobs, I left for about 2 years, and I went to work for the Department of Environmental Conservation. They had started a new AmeriCorps program called Eco AmeriCorps. So I helped manage that for 2 years. And then a regional manager position with Vermont State Parks opened back up. So I applied, came back over to Parks, did that for 3-ish years. And I've been the chief of operations now. And this month is my 20th year of service with the state of Vermont.
Well, it sounds like you have a tremendous breadth of experience working for the Parks Department, and that what I'm hearing is that you got into it you started working for the parks in a seasonal role. Is that correct?
Absolutely. A lot of our full-time year-round staff, we have 45 roughly full-time year-round positions. And a lot of folks started seasonally. In fact, our director of Vermont State Parks, he started seasonally as a park manager. longer ago than I did.
Yeah. Well, I know in our previous conversation you mentioned how important these seasonal roles are to keep the parks running.
Yeah.
And so I imagine that even though they are seasonal, that these roles take on a tremendous amount of responsibility.
Yeah, our seasonal positions, we have 45 full-time year-round staff, but we have about 400 seasonal staff people who manage and work at our 55 developed parks. So we refer to them as our secret sauce. Without the seasonal staff, we don't exist. Yeah. They do almost all of the direct customer-facing work. Anybody who's been to a Vermont State Park, if they've interacted with somebody with a shirt like this, the overwhelming odds are that person was one of our seasonal employees.
And do you get a lot of returning seasonal employees?
Yeah, it fluctuates a little bit year to year, but 50 to 60% return from one year to the next. We have one of our seasonal employees has been around for 38 years this year, I believe. We have, getting into 20 years is not uncommon.
Yeah.
We do have, lots of people will be one and done, but it's certainly more common that people stick around for a few years at least.
Yeah, and like you've proven that you get your foot in the door as a seasonal worker, that could lead to potential full-time year-round positions.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And we also are people get great experience working for us as park managers or in any of our positions, and it's not uncommon for them to go to other states or the National Park Service and get full-time positions either.
Yeah, and I'm just curious, because you did have a number of different roles in the park system. Like, how has your perspective changed along the way as you've gone from role to role?
It's a lot more fun being a person working in the field is one thing, but I don't know that my perspective really has changed. The work that we do is really all about providing, a safe, clean, outdoor spaces for people to recreate with their friends and family, and hopefully create positive, lasting memories. And that's kind of what I was focused on when I was working as a park manager. And, then that's what I kind of like to remind all of the folks that work for us now. That's really why we're here. We're temporary caretakers of these amazing places that are offered in the state of Vermont and keep them available for current and future visitors to enjoy.
Yeah, and that's essentially the mission of the Vermont State Parks?
Yeah, the formal mission is to conserve and interpret on behalf of the people of the state of Vermont their natural, historical, scenic, and cultural resources while providing recreational opportunities and economic benefit.
Oh, that's fabulous.
Yeah, but it's all about just providing opportunities for people to get outside and enjoy themselves.
That's great to hear. And, I'd love to get into some of these jobs here that enable the public to come and enjoy these spaces.
Absolutely.
So let's take a look at some of these jobs, shall we?
Sure.
All right. So the first role we have here is a state park attendant. This is across various locations, and the wage pays $18.01 per hour. Tell us a little bit about this position, what it takes to work there, and kind of what it's like.
So the attendant positions that's the most common position that we have across the board. And the park attendant is really an entry-level position to get in and start working in parks. But we have park attendants that range in age from 15 or 16 to 80 or older, and everywhere in between. One of the things that's really, I think, kind of unique about our system, and one of the things that makes it even more enjoyable to work in, is everybody at the park pitches in together to do everything. So, the park attendants, they're going to be working in the office. They're going to be taking reservations, checking people in for their camping experiences, taking people's day use fees. They'll also be out and about, maintaining the lawns, using the park equipment, lawnmowers, string trimmers, tending to flower gardens, doing small facility improvement projects, maybe some painting, things like that. And we take a lot of pride in having very clean bathrooms. So everybody from the park manager to the brand new attendant gets out there and pitches in cleaning bathrooms.
So it seems like a real team-minded environment, and everyone kind of chips in and does what needs to be done to keep the place running.
Absolutely. If we didn't do it as a team effort, it wouldn't get done. Yeah. You know, some parks might have 2 or 3 park attendants and a park manager and assistant manager, and then some of the bigger parks might have a park manager, 2 assistant managers, and then a dozen park attendants.
What do you think helps people work together closely as a team in these roles? Is it the hiring process, the training, the onboarding?
I think it's a little bit of all of that. I think that, you know, the people that want to work in parks, they're not just looking for a job. They're, you know, it's a kind of unique, special kind of a job. And a lot of folks who work for us for the same reasons that people visit the parks, because they're just the most beautiful locations in Vermont. They're amazing places to be. And, you know, you got to go out and help clean bathrooms, but it's pretty easy to clean bathrooms when you're in a beautiful Vermont State Park. And then, you know, after that, you're going to be out enjoying the sunshine, interacting with people that are there, you know, having their annual vacations and, you know, getting to know some of the visitors. And it's just a really positive experience to be a part of.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And I know myself, my family, we love to join the parks. And so I got a question about the role in the park attendant and all these seasonal roles. Do they include benefits?
Our seasonal employees do not have like traditional benefits. Mm-hmm. It was a few years ago, I don't remember exactly when, but they were the state's 457B plan, I think, the deferred comp retirement plan was made available to our seasonal employees. So that's one benefit that people can take advantage of now. But we have some kind of perks for our seasonal staff that are not available to any of our full-time staff. Things like free camping on a space available basis in any park, free day use to any park. They get reduced prices on park merchandise. We have a number of attractions that we partner with where they can get reduced entry or maybe free entry to some of those places. We offer to buy every one of our seasonal staff people a state of Vermont fishing license. So there's, you know, there are some perks that come along with the job, but, you know, traditional benefits do not. They do earn sick leave. Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, accrued over the amount of time that they've worked. But
that's a lot of that. Those are great benefits, and you know, in today's age, like we are, there's such a focus on work-life balance, and I know for the company I work with, we promote that, and I know in other companies that I've talked to that's really big, and it sounds like the Vermont State Parks is also on board to support work-life balance and give people as many, you know, benefits that you possibly can offer. Yeah,
we try to provide, you know, as much support and anything that we can provide, we try to make it as good of an experience as possible.
Oh, that's great to hear. And let's go to the next job here. We have a parks maintenance worker. There's a number of different locations here, from Emerald Lake, Button Bay, Lake Carmi, Night Point, Groton, and Gifford Woods. The wage pays $18.01 an hour. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about what a parks maintenance worker does.
Yeah, so the difference between a parks maintenance worker and a park attendant is, you know, park attendants are assigned to a specific park, and they go to that park and work each shift that they have. The park maintenance worker positions, those are more regional based. So we have 4 regions, each has between 12 and 15 parks, geographically located. So we have a regional office based in Killington, one based in Rutland, one in Essex with the maintenance shop in Night Point, and then a regional office in Barrie, and that maintenance shop is based in the Groton Forest. So the maintenance workers work out of those regions, and they assist the full-time maintenance staff on a variety of projects that might be going on, and they are focused really on maintenance might help with some grounds and facilities work in the parks, but they have less of the customer service, direct customer service interactions.
Yeah, and so do you need experience in the skilled trades to be a maintenance worker?
We have to be a maintenance worker, not necessarily. I mean, my degree is in journalism, and I'm now the chief of park operations. I went on and got my master's degree as I was working here. But people have all kinds of backgrounds, and we have two levels of the maintenance workers. There's also a seasonal maintenance technician position that pays a little bit more, and that one requires some more technical skills. But we're really looking for people that have a good work ethic, have a positive attitude, and really want to be a part of our team. Okay. And in any of our positions, we have folks that might have a high school diploma or a GED. Maybe they didn't graduate from high school, or maybe they have an advanced degree, from a university. So it really runs the gamut.
Okay. Let's go to the next job here. A park interpreter. So this was new to me. I didn't understand what this job was when I first pulled it up. So I'm excited to hear you talk about it. Wage pays $18.89 an hour. And this is where you're managing a park nature center during the operating season and conducting background research. Talk me through this and help me understand what this role is.
We have interpreters at between 15 and 20 of our parks, and those are generally parks with maybe higher visitation and where we have nature centers on site. And they provide visitor programming. They used to be called park naturalists, but the current term is park interpreter. And they work as a member of that park team, and they also do some of the other stuff to really get integrated with the team, and maybe some other members of that team will work with the interpreters on some of their visitor programming. But they work fairly independently, developing their own programs. Our interpretive program manager trains them, and they receive the certified interpretive guide training. It's the same certification that national parks interpreters get, so it's a really valuable kind of professional certification that they're able to earn through us.
And are you hiring people with degrees in environmental education or science-based?
Again, it really runs the gamut. We have one of our interpreters is a high school teacher, and he's been an interpreter for us for 10 years or more. We have other folks that might still be in college, but have some experience doing this sort of thing and are working towards an education degree. But then, we have some folks who just have really interesting life and job experiences and they're great at presenting, and they're really knowledgeable, and they might be a great fit for these jobs. So we don't have a lot of strict requirements for most of our jobs on education or exact experience that people need to have. We're really looking for the right people. Yeah. The right outlook.
And the three jobs we've looked at so far, all the wages are within the $18 to $19 per hour. Yeah. Is that the starting wage for most of these?
Those are the starting wages, yes. Those are the starting wages, and they're on the state's pay scale. So each year that somebody returns, we have an advancement plan in place. So there's every other year, essentially, they get a step increase, and it's based on what pay grade they are on the state's general wage scale. Yeah.
That's great. Let's go to the next job here. We have a recreation ranger and a trail coordinator. And this wage pays $20.99 an hour. And I know this is a unique position. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, these positions really work more closely with our partners in the forestry division, and the recreation specialists in the forestry division. Doing, the trail coordinator, it's just the job would imply, we have a trail crew that goes around and does trail improvement projects across the state, and they work to do that. And then the recreation rangers work under the regional recreation specialists on any variety of projects to help promote and manage recreation kind of on state lands outside of developed state parks.
And so are you looking for skilled workers for this?
Yeah, I mean, the trail coordinator position, certainly some trail building experience, because they work pretty autonomously out on the work that they're doing. And, I think the recreation ranger, it's similar to the park manager positions we have. It's people that have, some experience in the work, but really, show a strong desire for the mission and have a great attitude and a great work ethic.
Does state parks, do they provide training and support for people to obtain their certifications?
So like I had said about the interpreters, we have the certified interpretive guide training. And then we have a very robust park manager, assistant manager training program that we do every spring, where we get together for 3 days overnight the last several years. And this year, again, it will be at Bolton Valley Ski Resort, where we kind of go over everything that you need to know to be the park manager, assistant manager, and then for them to train the staff that work in their parks. And we require certain positions, interpreters, managers, assistant managers, to have first aid and CPR training, and we help provide that if they don't come in with that training.
Yeah, I've seen that's a common requirement, or I guess a preferred requirement, first aid, CPR. So it's good to know. So someone can come to you without that requirement, and you'll help them obtain it.
We'll make sure that they get it. Yeah, at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, because that is a common requirement out there, and I don't want people to think that it's unobtainable or it's something that the parks will work with you on getting.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then when it comes to like continuing education and these professional certifications, I know we're looking at one for logging and stuff that the parks supports some of those.
Yeah, our full-time staff, some of them, depending on their jobs, are required to have a game of logging certification, which is, for felling trees and using chainsaw. We do provide that for some of our seasonal staff as well. And that's really on an as-needed basis, depending on what the position is and where it's located.
Like when it comes to doing a lot of the trail work and using some of the heavy machinery, or I guess small machinery, right? Chainsaws, what have you. Is there training provided?
Absolutely.
For the use of
we don't
those
let
tools?
Anybody use anything without training them.
And usually have someone experienced working with these crews.
Yes.
Is that the idea?
Yep. Absolutely. So for the work that the trail crews are doing, the district recreation specialists, they would provide that training as needed. For our park attendants and our in-park staff, typically our full-time maintenance staff will provide the training on the use of lawnmowers, string trimmers, leaf blowers, park vehicle, UTVs, all things like that, and any other kind of power tools that they may be using.
Great. And so that's why when you talk about what it takes to what you're looking for in the person to fit the role, right? And what it takes to be successful in these roles. It's really about the desire, about the mindset, about the person's personality and willingness to learn. You're not so much looking for people with these certifications and degrees to come in and who have this, skilled trade experience. You are willing to work with the right people. And I think that's what I'm hearing is the key to this, is you're looking for the right people.
Absolutely. We need people that can get along with other people, people that can provide great customer service, and people that really, they just have a positive attitude and want to be here doing the work. those are the main things that we look for. And any additional skills are certainly welcome, but not generally required.
Yeah, and an interest to explore the roles that the park system has to offer and to become a part of it, at first maybe on a seasonal basis, but then eventually maybe moving into something full-time.
Yeah.
And from your experience too, it's not just the Vermont State Parks that you can work for. There's other organizations, and there's federal parks, and
yes.
and so there are a lot of opportunities, and this is a great way to get experience into that industry.
Yes, I mean, because all of our in-park staff are seasonal, our park managers, like a lot of other states, being a park manager might require multiple years and training in order to achieve, but we have seasonal folks that are filling those roles.
Right.
And so they're, when they're applying for a full-time park manager, park ranger position in another state or with a different entity, they have a leg up on a lot of their competition there because they've done it.
Well, this is the state to get into this kind of industry, and it's great. We prefer to hear that people that start with the state parks end with the state parks, and we don't lose them. We are looking to retain our workforce and grow it. So
yeah, and we realize that not everybody can work a seasonal position forever. We do have a lot of folks that are able to find something else seasonally to do in the winter and kind of make a career out of it. But whenever somebody moves on to something that's maybe a full-time park position somewhere else, we're always happy for them. And when some of our full-time positions open up within Vermont State Parks, those people are all often at the top of the list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, let's check out the last job we have here. State Park Manager, I guess Series 1, 2, 3, and 4. Wage pays $18.89 to $23.28 an hour, or $756 to $1,117 per week. Talk to me about this park manager and what the series of these jobs means.
Yeah, so there's the 4 different levels of park manager positions, and those levels, it's 1 through 4, and 1 is the lowest level and 4 is the highest level, and those levels are dependent on the complexity of that park operation. And then we have 2 levels of assistant manager positions, and most of our park manager and assistant manager positions, not only do we offer housing to them, but we require them to live on site as part of the job, because where we have campgrounds, it's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that people are in the park. So they are assistant managers and park managers in most instances live on site, and the housing is provided for them. And they do, what you would imagine. They're the people that are kind of running the show on the ground. But again, working right alongside the park attendants in the work that needs to be done. And on the we make sure that everybody has hopefully 2 consecutive days off every week. It's for the managers and assistant managers. It's generally not on the weekends because those are the busiest times, but they stagger their times off when the park manager's away. The assistant manager is the manager on duty. And some things that they might need to do a little bit differently is like some record keeping, or they'll work with the regional staff to kind of plan and implement some projects that we want to have happen at the park level. And then they also are the kind of eyes and ears of the park after the office closes and when the campground's still around. So anybody who's visited a Vermont State Park has probably seen our staff walking around with flashlights, after 10 o'clock, just making sure that everybody's, keeping the noise down to a level where everybody's able to enjoy themselves. So they fill that role as well.
It's a real full-time commitment on a seasonal basis.
It's a full-time commitment, yeah. Our park managers and most of our assistant managers are paid for 48 hours a week, because, we'll try to get them to schedule for 40 hours a week, but then there's that extra 8 hours for any overtime that they might need to work for doing things like the nighttime work. And if something happens and they're off duty and they're there, they might need to spring into action, come out of their house and go help out with something.
Yeah. And the housing that they get in these positions, is that something? Is that subsidized housing, or are they paying rent, or is it just provided?
It's just provided during the operating season, and we have a large handful of locations across the state that the houses can be lived in year round, and we will rent those to staff in the off season, and then they have to pay market value to live there during the non-operating season. But when they're working, it's just provided to them.
Well, that's really interesting. Well, there's a tremendous amount of opportunities, tremendous number of different benefits that are offered. It seems like the Vermont State Parks is really willing to work with people to find their place in a role in which they can be successful. And I think those are all really qualities of all the good organizations I've talked to in Vermont, and being so community-minded and supportive of one another. It sounds like Vermont State Parks is right in line with all good things Vermont.
Yeah, absolutely. And, if it's hard to find somebody in the state of Vermont that they haven't worked for a Vermont State Park. Yeah. They probably have a close friend or family member that has.
Yeah. So how can interested folks get into contact with you and find out more about these jobs? Yeah,
we're currently right in the middle of our hiring season. You can go to our website, vtstateparks.com, click on the employment link, and it takes you right to the application. And we have one application that regardless of the position that people fill out, they can select the location and the position that they're interested in. And because lots of folks aren't exactly sure what location they would want to work in or exactly what position they're qualified for, you can choose one or you can choose all of them. And then we have our hiring is done regionally by our regional operations managers, and they're all reviewing all of the applications, and they see something where it looks like a person would be a good fit. They'll reach out to schedule an interview and hopefully get the position filled. Like I said, we have about 400 seasonal positions. We've been had opened up recruitment right around the first of the year, so we're probably about 2/3, maybe 70% of the way there. But there's still positions of all varieties that are available right now. But we're actively filling them every day.
Yeah, you got to get on it. The season's right around the corner.
If anybody's interested in the position, they should get their application in right now.
Yeah, now's the time. Reach out. Don't hesitate, and let them know what type of person you are and that you're willing to learn and commit to supporting their mission.
Exactly. And on that website, there's my phone number is right on the recruitment website. And if people have questions, they can certainly give me a call. I field calls every day about people that are interested, but just want a little bit more information.
All right. Well, before we go, could you please share with our viewers a word of advice about their job search or career development?
Yeah, I think that, the thing that sticks out to me, whether it's when we're recruiting for seasonal staff or for our full-time staff, is the people that we certainly for the first round of interviews are always the people that can express a real desire to work here. And I think that's an important thing to express why you want to work for that, wherever it is that you want to work. And also provide a cover letter explaining that where you can really elaborate on that. That stands out so much when we're reviewing, applications, and when a person can tell us, like, they're not only looking for a job, but they're looking for a job with us, and this is exactly why. You remember that. And those are the people that typically are going to be, called in to learn more about them. And if somebody just fills out the application with the, bare amount of information required, it's pretty easy to just look over those and go on to the next one, to be honest with you.
Wow, that's awesome advice. They want to know who you are, not all about your certifications and experiences. They want to know what type of person you are and what you'll be like to work with, and what type of employee they'll be getting.
Exactly.
Yeah, you got to articulate that. It's not clear.
Yes. Yeah. Why do you want to be a part of this organization?
Yeah, that's great advice. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And thanks for joining us today. I appreciate you sharing what it takes to be successful in all these roles and giving us a background on the state parks and talking about your career. It's all really interesting, and I think it resonates with a lot of Vermonters, and I hope this helps get people connected to the park's seasonal roles, and maybe that turns into something even bigger. But for now, looking to enjoy the parks this summer, and I hope you get it fully staffed, and I wish you the best of luck with your hiring and recruiting.
Absolutely. Thank you, Paul.
All right. Thanks for being on the show, Reuben.
Thank you.
Seasonal roles, like the ones we covered today, offer more than a paycheck. They build experience, confidence, and community, and they open doors to future work across our state. If today's conversation sparked an interest or helped you imagine yourself in one of these roles, your local one-stop center is ready to support you. Whether you're exploring seasonal work, preparing for interviews, or searching for your next opportunity, we're here to help you move forward with clarity and confidence. Visit us at our comprehensive job center at 63 Pearl Street in Burlington, or find a one-stop location near you. Remember, VermontJobLink.com serves both employers and job seekers alike. So log in, create your profile, and post or view available job opportunities. Check out part 2 of this episode, where I teach you how to interview, review additional job postings, and check out one-stop events. Thank you for spending time with us today. This is JobTalk Vermont. I'm Paul Ferraro, and I'll see you on your way to work.